Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
That took long enough. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective.
Abhilash, welcome to the stream.
As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he did not realize that the sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not hear the sound. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out. But at this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, so Linney proceeded to knock him out afterward. Linney passed the and there you have it. That's the
मैं
truth
बस यही क्वेस्ट कर रहा था
happened.
स्ट्रीम करने का मन नहीं कर रहा था मुझे आज एक्चुअली स्ट्रीमिंग करने का ही मन नहीं कर रहा लग रहा है जैसे स्ट्रीमिंग
Does
ही
the
छोड़ दूं
defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description of the events?
स्ट्रीमिंग का ही मन नहीं करता समझ सकते हो आई गेस
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events. What Linney experienced and what he saw. Seems this won't produce.
सारे के सारे हो गए लेकिन बोल रहा हूँ कर रहा है ओके नेक्स्ट
According to Linney, he left via the
तो
vent
अब
after
कैसे आ
entering
गए
the tunnel.
वही मैं सोच रहा हूँ क्यों आया
He
मैं
couldn't have
I
had
don't
that
know.
altercation with Halsey.
I don't know क्या छोड़ दूँ बंद कर दूँ मैं स्ट्रीम अपना बताओ
Linney went to the room. Linney did not.
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say! But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again. And then finally, he reached the surface. And that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent. Paimon did it!
In other words, you believe that he knew.
That's right!
My reasoning?
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Linney only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage?
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're partners of mine. They've managed to turn things around. Oh, well, your denial is very strident. I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims? Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? You're saying that he wasn't?
Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought? Paimon thinks there's something off here. That's right! Lenny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange. This means that when the crime happened, Lenny had already entered the basement via the vent. The same clue you used to disprove his alibi.
Well played. To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Lenny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
बाप रे बाप.
Could there have been a third person? The deceased's name is Cowl.
Huh? That can't be. The killer was, in fact, Cowl, the deceased.
Oh, is that so? How interesting!
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowl did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim. No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. So... Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. Halsey's clothing was a... The sound we heard may have come... Lenny was not in the tunnel. No one entered or left... The deceased's name is Cowl.
কি বাজে লাগছে এটা করতে.
The deceased's name is... It would have been tough for both... No one entered or... Lenny was not in the tunnel at... Lenny was not in the tunnel at... The deceased's name is Cowl. Halsey's clothing... Lenny was not in the tunnel. It would have been tough for both... Halsey's clothing...
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you...
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider a different track? Just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's...
If only we knew...
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel... It's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make...
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
tunnel at that moment. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing... The deceased's name is Cowl. No one entered or left the opera house through its entrance. The vase was not broken by chance.
I don't get it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped. Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind. If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed into water...
How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality. Must we really? I should think that of anyone. You magic tricks are ultimately just...
Even so, the truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning, since Cal was the deceased, but given that we aren't making much...
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is not...
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are... water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea.
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice. The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported.
You've got to be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
Huh. If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was targeting that girl... Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You
Mademoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order! It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results, but we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue speaking.
Of course. Thank you. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
The rope that strung the water... Now it seems like the hook rope was... the water from the primordial... Lynette was in the magic box on stage. The deceased's name is Cowell. I remember there was something else...
It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine! In the original plan, Cowell would tamper with the water water tank rope, and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey. Afterward, Cowl would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel, and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person?
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence. I shall now invite him on stage.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just and we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial...
What?
That can't be. Does this not, my dear citizen? Vinny did not need, having made modification that upon ultimately he now as much. Am I right? We've used up all the evidence. Is this the end?
Oh no.
See, I believe this is indeed. Now then, Mike, excuse me.
Miss, I must ask you not to shout. And
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic? I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. Please.
What in the world?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick come on, Lenny and Lynette? But as the magic makers and stars of the show,
I understand.
and voila.
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after all?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And then before I knew it, she caught me.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowl. I admit it.
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Lenny was the one who caught me in the act.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief. Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was onto me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now.
This time, we need to tell the entire story. The strange sound. The flower vase was. Lillian.
And it's Ace Detective time on time! Having been selected, her panic only intended hearing the commotion. He did not know that mistakenly believed the two broke the with no way of escaping.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses. Talk about a sneaky thief.
At this point, all the events that happened in the...
Ah, so that's rather...
Now then, Lady Farina, do you... Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No, I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, couldn't you at least have left me with some dignity?
Wow, look at that!
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began,
Welcome to the stream.
the
Do you
box
remember
containing
me?
the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope,
No.
and bursting the balloon containing the water.
नाम चेंज किया है क्या?
If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that...
Hooray, Lily and Lynette!
While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case at least can be handed over to the Oratories to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Great work. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know.
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes? I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way...
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know, and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent more off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected any less of them.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
So, we're just going back now? That's...
Traveler, Paimon! Please wait.
Linny...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me, but still. Let me thank you again for defending me to the end, even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui. I guess. But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Linny this entire time. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That's all. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth?
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, would you mind hearing a story? It's about my past. Back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several days to figure out how he pulled off his amazing tricks. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever. Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
So you went from orphans to nobility?
That was how we felt at first too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to, but I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
That doesn't seem too bad either.
तुमने बोला इसकी स्ट्रीम करना
Better than roaming the streets at any
बट
rate.
बहुत अच्छा स्ट्रीम नहीं हो रहा है मेरा. There's no one here. शाम के टाइम में स्ट्रीम कर रहा हूँ.
It
अब बताओ
took a
कोई
while
क्यों
for
नहीं
me
आ
to
रहा stream
realize
पे?
just how dark his heart really was. After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me. I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's bedroom and asked him about her whereabouts. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
Oh no. So he was gonna... But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law.
একটা কথা বলবো, রেগে যাবে না তো? বলো বলো বলো, কি বলতে চাইছো বলো।
I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, avoided the guards, and made my way in, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood, and the knave standing there in the darkness.
তুমি কালকে ইন্ডিপেন্ডেন্স স্ট্রিম করতে পারতে। এটা তো কালকে গেম খেলারই টাইম পাইনি গো।
So, she'd already taken care of that guy.
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement, all of them orphans.
যদি আপডেট আসার সঙ্গে সঙ্গে স্ট্রিম করলে আরো বেশি হাইপ থাকতো। ও বাট আই রিয়েলাইজ যে বিকালবেলা স্ট্রিম করলে আই হোপ বেশি লোকজন দেখতে আসবে, বাট ইট ডিডন্ট হ্যাপেন। 30 মিনিট তো হয়ে গেল, কই লোকজন কই? Where are the looks? Public কই?
Father, I mean, the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer. The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here. I was hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been betrayed by nobles, but she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
Your voice echo হচ্ছে।
Your street performer did magic. It took me several days to figure out how he...
Probably আমার মাইক্রোফোনের জন্য।
She has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis' power when she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
So, she believes in that prophecy too?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis. Today's case has also proven that
তোমার যদি
people
ফ্রেন্ড
from
ট্রেন্ড থাকে যারা
Fontaine
গেনশিন
can indeed
খেলে বা
dissolve
দেখে
into
বা
some
কিছু
sort
করে,
of
তাদেরকে
water,
শেয়ার করতে পারো
thus
আমার
further
চ্যানেলটা,
supporting the
টু হেল্প মি
prophecy.
গ্রো।
All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included, are from Fontaine. We won't give up on defending our homeland. To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
It's all right. I understand. The only thing I can do is relate all this to you. I just hope you can understand that even as a
একটু
member
কমলো
of the
echoটা?
house, I
আমি
have
একটু
never stopped making my own
সাউন্ডটা চেঞ্জ
decisions,
করলাম।
and that I believe what I'm doing is right. If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do...
Bye,
Thank you.
Winnie.
আই প্যাচ আরো আছে, কত বড় আছে? আলেচিনোকে অ্যাপেন্স দেবে কি দেবে না?
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navi?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're... Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now? And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people to follow now, right?
Ah. I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers who have only arrived in Fontaine after all. Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Navia.
Oh, she's Geo. I don't know, maybe একে standard character করে দিতে পারে 5 star. I don't know, maybe.
Ah, and we were having so much fun investigating with you too. It was like having new waters
Well,
flowing
actually,
into
যদি
a
একে
stagnant
permanent Geo
mire,
unit করে দেয় standard,
causing
it
new
won't be
hope
bad.
to spring forth, and
ভালোই
the
হবে।
reflection in the murk to become clearer. Sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time as part.
Huh? Do we really need to get that?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
You don't have to twist.
Oh, wonderful.
All right then, let's have our farewell meal.
কত বড় আর্গন কোয়েস্টটা, এক্সপ্লোরেশন তো পুরো বাকি আছে। I think আর্গন কোয়েস্ট is done. No? Wait, আর্গন কোয়েস্ট is done. আর্গন কোয়েস্ট আর চলছে। আর্কন কোয়েস্ট চলছে, আর্কন কোয়েস্ট এখনো চলছে। ভাই 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 ভাই, মেরে দাও মার दो। एक्सप्लोरेशन पूरा बाकी है, अभी भी आर्कन क्वेस्ट खत्म नहीं हुआ। इंटरेस्टिंग। I think मैं इसको खोल सकता हूँ। No, अभी भी नहीं खुलेगा। Okay, great. এটা কিন্তু বড় quest হবে। This has to have Alicino inside her। तो इसके अंदर Alicino होना ही चाहिए। Let's teleport from here. আর্লেচিনো আছে, আই ডোন্ট নো, অ্যাজিউম করছি থাকতে পারে, আই এম নট শিওর। আর
I
কোন
came
কোয়েস্ট
here
এখন
several
চলছে তাই?
times with my father when I was little. But
Oh, don't worry, we haven't.
in that case, I'll go order for us for.
Ooh, everything looks so good.
Why, of course. Go ahead, try whatever you like. If the food's good, I'll make a group reservation for the rest of Spina di Rosula next time.
And if it's not?
Well, then I'll still bring everyone. Albeit with only one dish per table.
You, sure have your own way of doing things. Oh, we called this a farewell meal, but we could also treat it like a victory feast, right? We did just win that case after all.
Oh, true. Very true. In that case, boss, we'll have another 2 dishes.
Huh? Paimon didn't mean that you had to order even more food. Speaking of cases, do you think that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances will get caught soon now that...
Well, we've certainly taken a big step forward, but...
If it hadn't happened...
right? Yet it was because this was...
Ugh. If only that guy could have finished speaking!
In such investigations,
The bad thing
even the
is
smallest
at an
step
event
can
दी
seem
थी
like
उन्होंने
a
एक event दे
yawning
दिया
chasm if the trail of
Right.
clues is cut off.
12 दिन না কয়দিন আছে ইভেন্ট করতে হবে একটা
To be honest, I don't have high hopes for any follow-up that the authorities might conduct. It's not that I don't have faith in their ability, it's just that a different perspective is required in some matters. It's easy to guard against and deceive a single narrow perspective. A shift in thinking is required at such times in order to produce a breakthrough, which is exactly why the Spina di Rosula exist. Those highfalutin folk are not all-knowing. That's why we exist. To seep into the cracks where filth falls through, where their watch fails them. That's the kind of problems we solve. It's all right. Let's talk about something else. Like,
That's true. We didn't have a chance to speak to her after the trial.
I see. So, your primary objective, which has been foiled so far, was to have a chat with the Hydro Archon. I've heard that there's a long line of people waiting to meet Lady Farina. I suspect you'll be waiting for quite a while, considering that you missed your chance today.
Yeah, we've heard that she's super popular here in Fontaine, and that...
Well, would you consider some more, unique ways?
Guess that's Spina di Rosula's boss for you. Chock full of sketchy ideas.
Well, one way would be to infiltrate a performance troupe at the Opera House, only to abandon your act at the play's climax and ask to speak to her after the performance. I'm sure Lady Farina would be eager to see the ending, and would agree in order to finish watching the play. Don't you think?
Could you suggest something a little more practical? This plan seems pretty hard to pull off.
All right, here's another. Find a way to conceal yourselves under her bed. Then, wake her up in the dead of night and demand answers. Don't let her go back to sleep until she answers all your questions. I can personally testify that this one works. When I'm sleepy, I'll do anything as long as I can finally get some sleep.
That might work, but that's not really the problem. The problem is we don't want to get ourselves arrested.
Valid point. I overlooked that part. I was just thinking about leveraging a person's desire for sleep. All right. You did defeat her in court, clearing citizens of hers from false accusations. False accusation? She had nearly...
You mean that if we catch her while she's on a break, she might be too embarrassed to refuse? Why don't we give it a try after this?
Huh?
Sorry about that. Paimon wasn't really paying attention and the cup was right next to Paimon. Would you like to order another?
No, it's fine. We're just about done here.
Alright. Honestly, Paimon wouldn't recommend Fonta anyway. It tastes kind of salty and icky.
Is that so? Huh. Well, in that case, we'll have to blacklist the Fonta here then. If we're all finished eating, then I'll go pay.
Yeah, we're stuck.
भाई इनको सब खिलाता है हमको कोई नहीं खिलाता लॉल ups and downs.
So full. Paimon can barely float anymore. Nah, that would be so...
Okay. As for expenses this month...
Hey, Navia! What are you doing over there?
Oh, nothing. It was just a meal, you know? Nothing the Spina di Rosula...
Let's get ready to try to meet the Hydro Archon again.
So this is goodbye, huh? Well, if you do encounter any other trouble in Fontaine, you're always welcome to contact the Spina di Rosula. I'll give your requests the highest priority. In any case, I wish you smooth sailing. I'll see you again, partner.
See ya!
Wait, start holo. Seriously, second part of the Archon quest had started. Restaurant. Okay, अगर इसके अंदर हम जाते हैं वापस, what do I see? and yet eye patch के अलावा कोई नहीं है यहाँ पे. There's not a single another human being. क्या दे रहा है भज्जी? Recipes. Oh, I need them. Fonta, the last thing I want to eat. Fanta होता अलग बात. Lalla. Okay, this seems good. Food. Hamburger. Cream. एक ही बचा हुआ है. Okay, alright. Sausage. Cheese. Don't need it. I'll take that. Jam. I'll take that too. So that's it. I'm gonna go. होस्टेस का बेच रहा है तू? घंटा बेच रहा है? बाहर में जाओ. यहाँ पे तो कोई है ही नहीं.
Forget about me. This is about religion. What exactly?
अरे भाई पायरेट ऑफ द कैरेबियन आ गए यहाँ पे. अरे भाई 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 তোর পাশে কি বসবো? কুত্তার মাথাতে হ্যাট লাগিয়ে দিয়েছে. মানে সিরিয়াসলি চশমা পরে আছে কুত্তাটা. আরে বাপ রে বাপ. ये শালা কুত্তা नहीं है भाई. ये শালা রিচ ডগ. আমার কাছে কম্পিউটার আছে, আমার কাছে হ্যাট নাই. এই কুত্তার কাছে হ্যাট, চশমা, প্যান্টও পরে আছে বোধহয়. কি কি পরে আছে কে জানে. লেজের মধ্যে কি লাগানো? লেজের মধ্যে লাঠি. লেজের মধ্যে লাঠি লাগানো. কুত্তা কি হাঁটতে পারে না? বালের কুত্তা. না 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 নো লেট নাইট স্ট্রিম. ম্যাক্স টু ম্যাক্স 1 ঘন্টা স্ট্রিম করব যদি সম্ভব হয়. নেক্সট কালকে স্ট্রিম করতে পারি, নাও করতে পারি, আই ডোন্ট নো. এদিকে যেতে হবে. ওকে. नोप. मन तो করছে, मन तो कर रहा है कि मैं यलान पे पुल दे दूं. मेरा गारंटीड है. बट देन अगेन यलान इज नॉट नेसेसरी नीडेड. इस अकाउंट में यलान का जरूरत नहीं है. आई थिंक आई विल वेट फॉर आर्कॉन. फॉर द मोमेंट आई एम वेटिंग फॉर आर्कॉन. आर्कॉन ठीक रहेगा.
People around anymore. Looks like that boat we took to Aranias might have been the last one.
Vache.
फिर से?
Looks like we're back here again, huh? Traveler? That's
Vache. Vache.
Hey, why are you still walking? Huh? Hang on. Paimon can kind of hear a voice. It's calling for Vache, right?
Nah, but boss, minute will go in. Not that good, I think. Support character होता तो अलग बात थी, but she's not support as far as I can tell. DPS capability like wait, what? Pushing it?
Vache, are you my dear Vache? No, wait. You seem to be someone else. Do you know Vache? Do you know what I'm... Wait, who am I? My memories feel like they have been washed away like a flood. So many fragments dissolved amidst the tide, never to be recovered.
I think she's like Lynette. Lynette is like Hezo type character, matlab 4-star DPS character, not a support unit but a DPS unit. So usko build karna I don't think so would be wise.
How much have I lost? How many things?
1-2 दिन वेट कर लेता हूँ, उसके बाद देखते हैं रिव्यू क्या बोलता है बड़े बड़े यूट्यूबर्स. Then we'll see. How much have I lost? How many things? Okay.
Yes, that is what I was once. But now, I do not know how I came to be like this either. I only vaguely remember being covered in light blue water. I also remember going to many places. I loved adventure, loved exploring places. No matter where I went, Vache would go with me. I knew how dearly he loved me. And I also loved him equally as much. But now, we can no longer go back. No! Our reunion no longer has any meaning. The thought of me gives him no succor. If you meet Vache, tell him not to look for me. Tell him to move on. That is the only thing I still remember. Perhaps that is so. As I was submerged in the waters, losing consciousness, I saw Vache above the surface. His eyes were filled. If only I could have comforted him. Told him that I did not suffer. Indeed.
What if मैं कह सकता हूँ is like oceanids are nothing but Fontaine के citizens जो मर जाते हैं उसका alter ego की तरह एक elemental form में convert होके यहाँ पे रह जाता है. That is oceanids. अतृप्त आत्मा, like भटकती हुई आत्मा. Of Fontaine, people gets turned into elemental form of oceanids. Logic.
Is that what you call it? Dissolving? If anything, I consider it a form of release. It was a state of neither fear nor frenzy, with only an endless peace, like the water's still surface. I could also liken it to being a thirsty person who drinks water for the first time, and only then sees how they have lived for so long in a world of endless anxiety.
Type. But they're beautiful, yes.
I think I hear your companion. It's time for you to go, I think. Farewell, then. I am glad that you were able to sense my presence.
भटकती हुई आत्मा is an oceanid. What? What the hell is happening? क्या हुआ यहाँ?
Look out!
What the hell happened?
Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex.
क्या हुआ यहाँ पे?
Chlorand?
Shit, man. She's a sword user. हमको ये चाहिए. I want this character. Yalan Bhadaveja. I want her.
Quick, now's our chance.
But she's coming in 4.3. Argon के बाद. Probably second में नहीं ले पाऊंगा. अब कौन आ रहा है? आले चलो आएगा? व्हाइट ब्लाइंड लेके खेल रहा है ये वाला कैरेक्टर नाविया. व्हाइट ब्लाइंड है ना वो? लॉल. Shit, man. Sick.
I should thank you for lending us your sword there, Chlorand. But before I do so, could you explain how you managed to show up here?
I followed you. It seemed to me that danger has followed you more closely as of late.
I believe that following someone without their knowledge is actually called stalking, is it not?
Mr. Callus's last wish was for me to ensure your safety, and I will not betray his trust.
Do not speak of my father!
Sorry, Demoiselle. I was not strong enough.
Thank you for your aid, Miss Clorand, but do keep an eye out for your manner of speech. I believe we all wish to avoid unnecessary emotional harm.
Sorry, I did not consider your feelings.
Whatever. What else do you know? How did you come to the conclusion that I'd be in grave danger?
I doubt I know much more than you, but I believe that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances is very powerful. Your performance tonight will almost certainly attract their attention.
I'm sure they've known about me. To be honest, I'm shocked it's taken them this long to act against me. And what about these Gardamex? I thought only those associated with the Maison Gardiennage could control them.
None of these mecha have serial numbers. I was sure to check a moment ago. They are not the ones used by the authorities to enforce the law. I can only conclude that some powerful or wealthy party must have obtained them via illegal means, deploying them as a private force of sorts.
What? Your point being that they're out of Spina di Rosula's league, then?
Yes. Be careful, and do not act rashly.
I will continue investigating no matter what. We will bring the truth to light. That's my father's true last wish. Regardless, thank you for your help today, Clorand.
I do not think that they'll strike again anytime soon. So I shall stop following you. Good day, all.
भाई कुछ लेके घूम रही है वो.
Right. I suppose that's the best news we've gotten today.
Demoiselle, I believe that Miss Clorand was being sincere with you. If we tried, we could attempt to thaw relations a little.
I know, she's...
Oh, thank goodness! Paimon thought we were dumb! Those Gardamex came out of nowhere while you were unconscious, and Nadia and her gang saved us! Oh, and there was that champion duelist named Clorand who came out to save us too!
Oh, come now. Forget all that polite talk. That wasn't really a farewell meal we had back there. Not for me, anyway. In truth, I hope that every meal we have together shall be a victory feast. As such, we're still partners. There's no need to thank me.
It will take 50 years for me to match Demoiselle's magnanimity.
If it were me, I would have joined the Spina di Rosula on account of her goodwill long ago.
All right, you two. That's enough.
Actually, Navia, how did you know that we were in danger? You sure did show up in the nick of time.
Well, to be honest, you're the one who tipped us off, Paimon.
Huh? Really? Paimon contributed somehow? Ooh, Paimon's even more amazing than she thought!
Yes, all thanks to you grabbing my drink by mistake.
What?
After we parted ways, I was on the way back to one of our bases when I suddenly thought of what you said, that the Fanta tasted kind of salty and icky. Fanta only comes in sweet flavors, so how could it have tasted salty? The color of the drink, if I recall...
So the Fanta had been spiked with water from the primordial sea?
Yes. So, if you hadn't drunk that cup for me...
Spina di Rosula is preparing the grandest of awards for you as we speak.
Huh. Really?
I sent people to Hotel de Boer to investigate, but whoever did this left no trace at all. That's when I figured out that you might be in danger, and hurried here as quickly as I...
What? Why would they go after us too? All we did was defend Linny in court and help clear his name.
Well... You did foil a plan that they were probably pretty proud of, and almost got their name in the process. Speaking of which, did anything strange happen when you drank the primordial seawater?
Well, it can't be a coincidence that the traveler fainted just now. She said that she heard that voice calling for Vache again. Oh, and this time Paimon heard it too, but it was real faint. Does that mean the primordial seawater raises someone's sensitivity to hydro when it's used on people who are not from Fontaine?
That doesn't sound like too much of a bad thing, to be honest.
New intel? While you were out cold?
Well, let's hear it, shall we? Oh, that is important? Vache. That name doesn't ring a bell. I suppose he hasn't stepped forward as a witness in court lately. Since he saw that young woman dissolve, he was at least at the crime scene. But he never gave testimony or any information regarding people dissolving in the primordial seawater. Yes, thank you. This is very important information indeed.
Oh, you mean you'll help us invest? Well, you did say that our farewell meal didn't really... And besides, we're in this now whether we...
Demoiselle, do try not to look quite so pleased.
Mal,
You talk too
the
much.
quest is getting
Well,
interesting,
in that
but
case, let's head back
by
to one of our
ye
bases,
दोपहर
shall
होता
we?
तो I
I'll
could
arrange
have
accommodations for
streamed
you.
a lot.
We also have some plans to go over, and hopefully we can deepen our bonds as partners. But
Don't worry, you two. With us around, our base is definitely secure.
Ghanta. Man. Okay, so where are we going? Back and forth like an idiot. Let's go. Okay. Fast loading हो रहा है. I got to admit that part. Wait a moment. इसके अंदर क्या देख सकता हूँ मैं? As usual, nothing great. अरे जाओ मरा नहीं. That is the only thing.
I've been keeping watch, Demoiselle. I haven't spotted anyone.
very good.
I shall find rooms.
Thank you, Malus. Now,
Let's heal my Zhao up. Zhao का थोड़ा HP चला गया है. Woo! We're going underground. Okay. All right. नीचे का है बबुआ. कौन लेयर আছে ঘন্টায় by the way? Okay, there are 2 layers. 2 layer ही है. Okay, no problem. Then again, मेरे पास Zhao है, so there is no fall damage. Okay, ওদিকে আরো যেতে হবে. I wish I had Zhao C1. तो फिर मैं triple times I could use that. Great, এখন বলছে উপরে. Wow. Great, nice. बिल्ली? मुझे लगा बिल्ली पैंट पहना हुआ है. Okay. यूरोपियन कंट्री होगा, यहाँ पे सीवर्स तो होना ही है, राइट? इन्वेस्टिगेट. पैसा कैसे हो पैसा? एक चेस्ट तो दे दे हरामी. I'm pretty sure यहाँ पे okay. That's nice to know that मेरा Zhao can still walk. Swimming का जरूरत नहीं है Zhao को. Fine. Where are we? यहाँ पे अब Zhao हग रहा है. Zhao is shitting right now.
You want to outrun the law. You need to know how it works.
Oh. Underground bazaar.
So, this is your base?
Your accommodations have been arranged. Under the presence...
Well, our funds have been a little tight lately. After all, we don't allow illegal or unethical profiteering. In fact, our funds often come from citizenry who support us.
Seems like it's tough times for everyone.
To be honest, our financial situation was a lot better back when my father was in charge a few years.
Your father? He was the previous boss.
Demoiselle, if you'll allow me...
No. I'll explain it myself. My father's name is Callus. Yes, the same one they call Callus the Unfaithful in the streets. 3 years ago, he was accused of murdering his own friend. But he chose a duel to defend his honor instead of standing trial. He died in the duelist's ring.
Oh no.
But I do not believe my father was a murderer. I'm sure he was set up. At the time, I believed that if he only stood trial and was duly investigated, something amiss would crop up and prove his innocence. But strangely, he not only requested the duel himself, but even after being seriously injured, to the point where he could be deemed as having lost the duel, he refused to surrender, determined to die in the arena. 3 years later, I still don't understand why he did that. How could he protect his honor if he's dead? If anything, he gave up his chance to defend himself. The closest piece of info I have is that my father had been investigating the serial disappearances case at the time of his death.
Ah, so that's why you're so
That's right. I've also tried to investigate the murder my father was implicated in, but I haven't found a single new clue in my countless reviews of the investigation records. However, I believe that if the murder case is related to those behind the disappearances, they must know something. I must know what really happened. Was my father... If only he'd been more open with me when he was still alive. He even hid the fact that my mother died due to complications when giving birth to me. And now, here I am investigating his death.
Demoiselle, please, if there is anything I can do...
I also will never believe that Master Callus murdered anyone. Master Callus did so much good in life, yet even our supporters decreased greatly due to that incident, hence our strained finances.
Wait, if Callus was such a good man, wouldn't people at least be a little suspicious when he was accused?
No. Perhaps people just revel in that kind of drama. People love watching the evil turn over a new leaf. But they all...
But how could... never mind. If Callus was really falsely accused, we have to find the truth. He didn't deserve to have that happen to him.
And there is one other thing. Master Callus's opponent in the duel was Miss Clorand.
Oh, her? Well, then, isn't that as good as saying that she was the one who killed him? Yeah, that's not the sort of thing that you can just let go and move on.
Miss Clorand has always placed great emphasis on the honorable nature of the duel. If her opponent doesn't yield, she will not stop either. She knew Master Callus beforehand and greatly respected him, but there was only ever one choice she could have made.
It's not that I don't understand her at all, but I just can't deal with it.
Don't worry, Navia.
Afterward, Miss Clorand told us that at the start of the duel, Master Callus requested that she ensure Demoiselle Navia's safety. Yes, that is our understanding as well.
Oh, Papa. What madness drove you to ask the person who killed you to take care of me? All right. Anyway, that's the information I wanted to share with you. Thanks.
Please, relax and get some sleep.
समझ गया? A lot of stories learnt. Silver. अच्छा, इसका नाम Silver है. Okay, what we have here? तू क्या देगा बे?
Just say what you mean. No problem's too big to solve.
कम ऑन, एक चेस्ट नहीं है यहाँ पे? लॉल है भाई साहब, घूमेंगे नहीं, दिखेगा नहीं। I see a chest. That is a chest. नहीं? Such a shame. We chest. But this is a chest.
There's quality here.
पैसा हमको दो और पैसा। स्टैमिना बार को चेंज कर दिया है उन्होंने। आई डोंट नो ये फाउंटेन के लिए सिर्फ है या फॉर एवरीवेयर एल्स। ब्लू कलर का स्टैमिना बार हो चुका है। एंड दिस इज नॉट गुड मैन। Only the Ela, mami. Can I do it?
There's quality here.
Boring. Useless.
If it's useful, I'll take it.
Rest assured. देखते हैं इसके बाद क्या होगा।
I sent them back to Poisson. It's Spina de Rosula's place of...
But...
No, I just returned after going out for a while.
Wait, so you...
How could I after having such
Yes.
Unfortunately, this name seems to have been wiped from existence. It doesn't seem to have a match. I suspect that those behind this have already taken steps to hinder an investigation from...
Does that mean we're too...
No. There is one ray of hope. One place in Fontaine that they would find almost impossible to threaten. No matter... And that is the archives kept by Chief Justice Neuvillette. A place where detailed files... If the Oceanid you met is one of the young women who went missing recently, we should be at...
So Neuvillette maintains... In that case, let's go talk... Aren't you...
No, it's nothing. Let's go...
It's getting interesting. I've got to admit that. Shit gets interesting.
The palais is right up ahead. Come on.
इतना छोटा सा लैडर से कितना ऊंचा जाएगा तू बोल तो? मजाक कर रहा है।
Please state your business here. The Chief Justice is presently occupied. Huh. This place does look pretty heavily guarded.
Hey, don't you recognize us?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care who you are or who you might be related to. Our rules make no exceptions.
See? They've got great discipline, too.
Yep. Anyone can tell. If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit. Unlike some, we're busy, so please leave if you don't have a reason to be here.
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from a few days ago? We were at the trial of the great magician Linny.
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird. You must be Linny's attorneys. It's all coming back to me now.
We're here today to report and archive some information on a follow-up case.
Huh. Is that even a thing?
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official business. You can trust us.
All right then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice is just inside.
Thanks so much.
जाओ, नॉक नहीं करता, दरवाजा तोड़ के घुस जाएगा। मजाक चल रहा है यहाँ पे।
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Nervalet. We only lied to get in because we didn't know any other way.
It's all right. Please let me know how I may be of assistance to you.
We're looking for a man called Vache. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. If we can find him, we may be able to unearth some key information on the case.
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I browse through the files.
Who knew that Nervalet would be so easy to talk to?
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vache has been involved in any case, criminal or civil, in the past several. There are no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
Traveler, what if it was really just a dream?
Is that so? All right then. Thank you so much, Monsieur Neuvillette. We'll take our leave now.
Ahem. Miss Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional man. We deep...
And what are you trying to say? Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? Or just express some tendril of regret? No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion behind your words. You only said those things because you felt like you should. It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you as a last resort. You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still allowed the duel to go ahead. In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold
I don't know,
laws you
this
hold so
Novelet
dear.
guy is connected to
If you truly
Kanria
regret
somehow.
my father's
Eyes
death,
को देखो, pupils
then
देखो
why
उसका.
didn't you call a stop
Diamond
to the
shape.
duel? Why didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his life And you just let him die, despised and hated by all. Everything was hanging on a thread at that moment. Just the tiniest effort could have changed everything. There are still so many things I never got to tell him. So if you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes. I, Navia, will show you the true meaning of regret.
I'm sorry, Miss Navia.
Yep.
You and my father are truly alike. You keep all kinds of things in your heart and never say a word to anyone. It's not so much that you can't feel, but that you would never express. Oh well. In any case, everyone already knows full well the apathy of the Chief Justice. My apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
I don't know, man. I don't think so. वो स्टैंड में आएगा. I don't think so. अब कुछ भी हो सकता है.
Navia, are you okay?
I'm fine. Rain.
You're right. Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building? And there shouldn't be any active trials today.
Okay, I get it. एक ब्रेक थ्रू हो गया. देखो, जो कैरेक्टर्स मर जाते हैं फॉन्टेन के और जो मिसिंग हो जाते हैं दे ट्रांसफॉर्म इनटू वाटर. ओशनिट्स. अब ये ओशनिट्स आसमान में रहता है या गटर में चला जाता है, आई डोंट नो, बट व्हेन दे आर सैड दे क्राई एंड दैट बिकम्स द रेन. सो बेसिकली अभी उसका पापा रो रहा है, कैलस मतलब नाविया का पापा. ही टर्न्ड इनटू एन ओशनिट. अब वो आसमान में होगा, प्रोबेबली क्लाउड्स. अब वो रो रहा है बिकॉज अभी जो डायलॉग हुआ उसके बाद सुनने के बाद वो रो रहा है, इसलिए अभी बारिश हो रहा है. दिस इज द थिंग. मतलब एवरी टाइम इट रेन्स दैट मीन्स समवेयर सम ओशनेट इज क्राइंग. दैट इज द पॉइंट. मतलब इतना हमको समझ में आ रहा है.
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was convicted of murder, it was also raining.
Yes, because तब तुम्हारी मम्मी रो रही थी. She also turned into an oceanid. Logic.
What is it? Did you think of something?
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. Why? Do you think the rain could have affected the crime scene? That thought has occurred to us before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value. Oh? Wait. You don't mean...
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water and then got washed away with the rain? Yeah. And if that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad, even if he explained what he saw to the authorities.
I really think I found a true genius for a partner. You're completely right. How did I not connect the dots earlier? All right, let's go to Poisson. With this new lead in mind, we'll get to the bottom of my
Yeah, we're gonna make progress.
Do you want to go with me now? Or do you want to head up? Great, let's go then.
Come on, Arlichno को एक appearance दे दो. Let me see her character design. I'll be happily dead. 7 बजेगा लो. Okay, bye bye. বলো কি বলছো?
হ্যালো,
বলো। বলো কি বলছো, বলো।
কি আজকাল আসছো না, একা একা খেলতেছো, কি ব্যাপার?
কোথায় আসছি না?
তো আসছোই তো না, যদি টিউশনিতে যখন না আসে তুমি তখনও আসো না।
আমি তো আমার নিজের সার্ভারে বসে থাকি তো। আর আমি বিজিএম এ খেলা ছেড়ে দিয়েছি, ওই ওই খেলে কোনো লাভ নেই, বিজিএম এ খেলে কোনো মানে নাই আর। ফালতু।
আমি ভাবলাম আমার কার সাথে ঝামেলা হলো নাকি তোমার
না,
আবার।
কোনো ঝামেলা হয়নি, বিজিএম এ ওই দিন দেখলাম তো খেলাটা, বাল তোমরা সব কিছু
হ্যাঁ,
দেখতে পাচ্ছ, উড়ে উড়ে লাফি লাফি মেরে দিচ্ছ এদিক ওদিক, তো কি খেলে লাভটা কি, মানে লজিকটা কি?
লজিক ওইটাই যে মারতে পারবে লজিক।
আহ, মন করলো না এরকম করে খেলার থেকে, নাই বা খেললাম। আরেকটা গেম আমি কালকে ছাড়লাম, এই গেমটা দেখলে?
হ্যাঁ, ওটা দেখছিলাম।
কেমন লাগছে গেমটা দেখতে?
চলবে?
তো মোবাইলে তো চলবে, পিসিতে চলবে কিনা সেটা জানি না।
আর নতুন ওয়েব ইভেন্টটা দিয়েছে দেখলে?
ওয়েব ইভেন্ট?
হ্যাঁ,
পুরোনোটা
তোমার
কথা বলছো?
480 খানা প্রমোশন দিচ্ছে।
কোন ওয়েব ইভেন্ট বলো তো, আমাকে লিংক দাও।
ওই অ্যাপের থেকে।
হোয়ো ল্যাব থেকে?
ইয়েস।
কি ইভেন্টে করতে কি হচ্ছে ওটা জানতে চাইছি।
ইভেন্টটা তোমাকে 5 জন প্লেয়ার লাগবে, ওদেরকে কোড শেয়ার করতে হবে। ওটা লগইন করলে তুমি ওখান থেকে কয়েকটা এনভেলপ পাবা, ওগুলো দিয়ে তোমাকে রিডিম করতে হবে।
ওটা কি বলেছে যে সবাই পাবে, এরকম কিছু বলেছে কি?
হ্যাঁ, ওটা আমি তো পেলাম তো এখনই। আমি এখানে তোমার মানে ঢুকতে দেওয়ার 10টা এনভেলপ দিয়ে দেয়, আর 5টা এনভেলপ খরচ করলে 20টা প্রিমোজেন দিচ্ছে। আমি এখন ওই লগ ইন করতেই পেলাম 10টা, ওখান থেকে 5টা এলাম, আর বাকি জানি না কিভাবে কি করতে হবে, বুঝতে পারছি না। মোট কথা 5 জন ফ্রেন্ডকে লাগবে।
বুঝতে পারছি। 5টা ফ্রেন্ডকে তোমাকে পাঠাতে হবে, 5টা ফ্রেন্ড ক্লেম করবে, তাহলে তোমার হবে, ঠিক?
না, 5টা ফ্রেন্ডকে করতে হবে তার কোনো মানে নেই। তোমার ধরো মানে তুমি ধরো দুজনকে পাঠালে, ঠিক আছে, দুজনকে পাঠালে তুমি 15টা পাবে। এবার ওরা দুজন যদি প্রতিদিন লগ ইন করে, সেই লগ ইনের বেশি তুমি দুটো 3টে করে পেতে থাকবে।
আচ্ছা,
মানে তোমার দুজন ফ্রেন্ডও হয়, জাস্ট প্রগ্রেসটা স্লো হবে। বাট এইটা বুঝতে পারছি না যে এখানে রিডিংয়ে আমাকে দেখাচ্ছে 20, আরটা হচ্ছে 60 প্রিমোজেম, আরটা 80 প্রিমোজেম। তাহলে 80 তো 160টা প্রিমোজেম হচ্ছে। কিন্তু ওখানে আবার উপরে তোমার লেখা দেখাচ্ছে যে কমপ্লিট অ্যাডভেঞ্চার মিশন টুগেদার টু আর্ন আপ টু প্রিমোজেমস 480।
দাঁড়াও আমি এখন খুলে দেখছি কোন ইভেন্টের কথা বলছো। ইভেন্টটা কোথায় একদম নতুন ছেড়েছে, আমি দেখিনি ইভেন্টটা।
হ্যাঁ, আজকেই ছেড়েছে এটা। আগে দুখানা ছেড়েছিল, ওটা তো করে নিচ্ছে মনে হয়।
বা লিংকটা দিতে পারবে তুমি, কোন ইভেন্টের কথা বলছো? এখানে আমি কিছু দেখাচ্ছি না কিছু।
The damned will sooner die again than lay a hand on me.
খুললাম, কিছু দেখাচ্ছে না আমাকে।
গাঞ্জা এয়ারবেসে পাঠাচ্ছে। পাঠিয়ে দিলাম।
Yep.
আর তোমার কি পিং হাই দিচ্ছে?
না, আমার পিং ঠিকই আছে।
আমাকে হঠাৎ করে আগে পিং হাই দিচ্ছে, 200-250 উঠে যাচ্ছে।
একটা কোড দিল আমাকে, বুঝলাম না কোডটা কি কাজে, এটা কি ওয়ার্কেবল?
এই কোডটা সেন্ড করতে হয় মনে হয়। তুমি আমাকে সেন্ড করে দেখি ডিসকর্ডে, আমি ওটা ওপেন করে দেখি কিছু হয় নাকি। দেখো তোমার ওখানে ফ্রেন্ডের ইতে অ্যাড হয় নাকি।
আমার কাজে দিচ্ছে না কোডটা। লল। গ্যাদার ফ্রেন্ডস বলছে।
আরে ওই কোডটা না, মেসেজটা পাঠাও। শুধু কোড পাঠালে চাপ হয়ে যায়।
শেয়ারের কোডটা
মানে পুরো লিংকটা ধরে শেয়ার করো। এমনি তুমি ওটা শেয়ার ওয়ান্স করো, করে লিংকটা কপি করলে তোমার অটোমেটিক নিয়ে নেবে। আর তার নিচে দেখা আছে ফ্রেন্ডস রিকল্ড, ওইখানে রিকলে পুরো আমাকে লিঙ্কটা পাঠাও।
দেখো একটা জিনিস
হ্যাঁ
পাঠানো।
yes, yes.
480
ওটাই তো বাদ দেখ।
এই চ্যাপ্টার গ্যাদার ফ্রেন্ডস সাথে কমপ্লিট 16 তারিখ থেকে শুরু হয়েছে, 6 তারিখ অবধি চলবে।
টাইমও বেশি নেই খুব একটা।
কি চাই তোমার ইয়েলানের জন্য?
না না
ইয়েলান তো ওই তোমার ওটাও আছে, ইয়েলান তো ওটার জন্য খুবই ভালো।
তা তো খেলি না সেরকম। আইডি গেমের আইডি কি চালা, আইডি খুলে গেলাম।
আমার তো লজিক্যাল মনে হচ্ছে না, আমার ঝুলঝাউলি লাগছে এটা।
না দেখো তুমি এখনই কুইটার মধ্যে পেয়ে যাবে।
একটা কোড গেল, কি হলো কি হচ্ছে? কোডটা কোথায়? ইমেলে ঢুকবে ভাগ করে
কি?
ওই কুইটা প্রিমোশন কোথায় ঢুকবে? ইমেলে মানে
মেলে মেলে তোমার
গেমের মেলে
মেলে
কিছু আসেনি যদিও।
তুমি এখন স্ট্রিমটা দাও তো।
মোবাইলে তুমি তো পিসিতে আছো নাকি?
হ্যাঁ
তন্ময়দা তো খেলছিল, কোথায় পালিয়ে গেল তন্ময়দা অফ করে?
হ্যাঁ এবার এতে যাও, নিচে যাও, নিচে নামো। এই তো এবার এখানে, এবার নিচের দিকে নামো, এবার নিচে নামো, আরো নামো, নামতে দেখো। দেখো ওখানে প্রিমোজেমের এই যে এবার একদম ফার্স্টটা রিডিম করো। তোমার এখানে 5টা এনভেলপ খাবে, এই যে তুমি 20টা প্রিমোজেম পেয়ে গেছো, ইনকাম দেখো চলে এসেছে।
আচ্ছা এটা
এইটা তোমার এই যে এনভেলপ গুলোই কালেক্ট করতে হবে। এবার এইগুলো কিভাবে কালেক্ট করতে হবে ওটা বুঝি। আমি দেখো তোমার ফ্রেন্ডে অ্যাড হয়েছি আমি।
ফ্রেন্ড এখানে অ্যাড কোথায় হয়? এখানে দেখায়
নিচে নিচে তোমাকে হ্যাঁ এখানে এখানে
এটা
একজন
দেখাবে।
করে দেখাবে, দেখাচ্ছে না?
রিলোড করে দেখি।
রিলোড করে দেখো, কারণ আমি তোমার কোড দিয়ে তো ঢুকলাম।
না
যা বাবা,
লল। কমপ্লিট ওয়ান ডোমেন চ্যান, ডিফিট বস এনিমি, কমপ্লিট ডেইলি কমিশন, 16খানা ডেইলি কমিশন করতে হবে।
এটা ফ্রেন্ড তোমার ফ্রেন্ড করতে হবে, ফ্রেন্ডকে করতে হবে। তোমাকে পাঠাচ্ছি দেখো, ওটা একবার ঢুকে দেখো তো। দেখি আমার এতে অ্যাড হলে নাকি।
কি হলো? আমাকে আমার পেজেই পাঠিয়ে দিল ব্যাক করে, লল।
হ্যাঁ
আমাকে তো আমার পেজেই ব্যাক করে পাঠিয়ে দিল।
তাহলে কিভাবে করবো তাহলে এরকম না হলে? হায় কপাল।
তুমি এই লিংকটা পাঠালে ফের ক্লিক করলাম আমি ভিজিট পেজ। যা করতে আমাকে
যা
দেখাচ্ছে।
বাবা, আমার অ্যাডটা করবো কি করে সেটা তো বলে তো দেয় লোকে এরা। এক্সক্লুসিভ রিকল কোডটা আবার কোথায় দেবো?
কোডটা দাও তো আমাকে। কোডটা তুমি ইয়েতে পেস্ট করতে পারবে। কোডটা দাও তো তোমার, ওটা এক্সক্লুসিভ রিকল কোডটা আমাকে দাও তোমারটা।
হ্যাঁ পাঠাচ্ছি।
তোমার
ওখানে ওখানে পেস্ট করার অপশন দিচ্ছে।
ইয়েতে আমি দেখবো গেমের মধ্যে ঢুকে ওখানে রিডিমের অপশনটা আছে না, ওইখানে গিয়ে ক্লিক করে দেখবো, দেখি ওখানে দেয় কিনা। দাও 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 কোডটা দাও। কে জানে বল, বাই চান্স ঢুকে যায় টাকা।
দেখো ওই কোডটার মধ্যে ইয়ে মার্চ করা আছে মেলটার মধ্যে, দেখো
এটা GAOO ওই মালটা।
ইয়েস ইয়েস।
গেলাম
কি লেখা? এই যে রিডিম করতে না, এটা রিকল করতে হবে।
রিকল কোড কিন্তু রিকল হচ্ছে না এটা। আমি লুকিয়ে ধরে ঢুকতে পারছি না, লুকিয়ে তো আমারটা ঢুকতে পারছে না।
তুই 20টা প্রিমোজেন পেলাম। বাল
এবার আমার মনে হয় রোজ খুলে খুলে 10টা করে মনে হয় দেবে যদি ফ্রেন্ডে নাই। তাহলে তো বেকার একটা 140টা প্রিমোজেন, 3টে উইস ছাড়া যায়।
স্টিল আমাকে দেখাচ্ছে না কারো উপরে। তন্ময়দা তোমাকে পাঠাচ্ছি, তুমি 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 আসো দেখি, তোমাকে একটু পাঠাবো।
কি তোমাকে ওটা ইন গেম নাইনি?
না দাঁড়াও, রিকল করে এটা কপি করলাম, তন্ময়দাকে পাঠালাম। তন্ময়দা এটা জাস্ট ক্লিক করে দেখো যে হচ্ছে কিনা। ক্লিক করে ইয়ে করো, আর তুমি ওখান থেকে আমাকে সেন্ড করো, তারপর দেখি কি হয়।
Dudes are just standing around. How absurd.
তখন কোথায় পালিয়ে গেলে? হ্যাঁ, ভাগ করে
কারেন্ট চলে আসছে।
তারপর দেখলাম অনেকক্ষণ ধরে অন হয়ে আছো আর আসছো না।
তুই তো মিউট করে বসেছিস, তাকে মিউট করে বসেছিলাম।
হ্যাঁ, কেন কি আওয়াজ আসলো তুমি বললে?
What a huge
হ্যাঁ।
There's no need to be so surprised. While it may look like a ship, it's actually my father was the one who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps our taste in exterior design is the only thing we occasionally had. A gigantic and glamorous ship
Yes, sir.
embodies discovery,
Yes, sir.
opportunity,
আচ্ছা
ambition,
একই
and
মেসেজ যাচ্ছে
conquest.
বাহাদুর।
It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's
কি
bright
হলো
and
রিভার্ট
living.
ওটা কি করতে হবে? গ্যাদার ইওর ফ্রেন্ড।
Paima was but now
তোমাদেরকে দেখি তো কি করতে হবে ওটা।
herself.
এই তো বাতা এটা রিকল করছি না, সবাই এটা জয়েন করো। তুই তো এটা দিলাম দেখ।
হ্যাঁ, আমাকে
কেউ হবে না, কেউ হবে না, রিকল হচ্ছে না।
অ্যাডভান্স ফ্রেন্ড রিকল।
ওই দেখো গ্যাদার ইওর ফ্রেন্ডস বলে একটা অপশন দিচ্ছে, ওইখান থেকে গ্যাদার ফ্রেন্ডস থেকে গ্যাদার করো ফ্রেন্ডকে।
ওটা তো ওকে এখনই পাঠালাম, দেখো হচ্ছে নাকি।
কমপ্লিটস আ মিশন, এটা ফ্রেন্ড কমপ্লিট ডেইলি কমিশন। আচ্ছা ডেইলি কমিশনের জন্য হবে। ওকে রেডি।
ও আজকে হবে না বোধহয় এখানে। যে ফ্রেন্ড লগস ইনটু দ্য গেম, একদিন 3 দিন 5 দিন হলে দুটো করে দেবে, তারপর ডেইলি কমিশন করবে বন্ধুরা।
অ্যাড করতে হবে তো আগে, তারপর তো সেটা ফ্রেন্ড অ্যাড করলে তোমাকে আসলে
আটটা দিয়ে ঢোক সবাই।
Yes, who have not logged into the game in 14 days better start the event. ও এই দেখ, এটা পড়ে দেখো, কলিং ফর কে, যারা গেম খেলছে না তাদের জন্য। দেখো এটা, দেখো এই জিনিসটা পড়ে দেখো, প্লেয়ার্স হু হ্যাভ নট লগড ইনটু দ্য গেম উইদিন 14 ডেজ, 14 দিন ধরে যারা গেম খেলেনি তাদের জন্য এটা অ্যাপ্লিকেবল, এরকম ব্যাপার নাকি?
ও তাহলে কিছু না, এই রিজলভ করে 5টা অ্যাকাউন্ট বানিয়ে নে। আমি একটা বানি কেন
এখন বানালে হবে না, তোমাকে 14 দিন না খেলতে মানে খেলা যাবে না শেয়ার। আরে রিরোল করার কি দরকার, তোমার যে ইয়েটা আছে মানে অ্যাকাউন্ট মার্কে যে অ্যাকাউন্টটা আছে ওটাতেই বিভিন্ন সার্ভারে খুলে নাও, প্রতিটা সার্ভারে একটা করে খুলে নাও।
বিভিন্ন সার্ভার খুলে তো লাভ নেই, ফ্রেন্ডে অ্যাড করতে পারবো না।
অত সেই তো একই ব্যাপার, তোমার সেই ঘুরে ফিরে 14 দিন ওয়েট করতেই হবে।
লাভ নেই ওটা ফ্লুক।
ওই আপাতত ওই কুইটা গ্রুপ আমি নিয়ে নাও আর কি করব।
হ্যাঁ ওটাই লাভ।
না আমি এটা দেখি ফ্রেন্ড লগ ইনটু দ্য গেম পার্কিং
ওকে লাস্টটা লিংক পাঠিয়ে ওটা দেখো তো, ওটা তো আমরা ডাইরেক্ট ফ্রেন্ড ইনভাইটের লিংক পাঠিয়েছি ওটা ইয়ে। এখানে সাদা কাটতে দিচ্ছে হচ্ছে না দেখে কি
ওদের লিঙ্ক থেকে আসলে কি হয় দেখি, তারা তোদের লিঙ্ক লুকিয়ে যে লিঙ্ক দিয়েছে সেই লিঙ্কটা দিয়ে আমি যদি চাই তাহলে কি হচ্ছে, এটা দিতে নিয়ে যাই তারপর তোদের ক্লাস হবে না, এটা পাবো না আমরা, কেউই পাবো।
প্রথম কুইটা পাবো ওটা নিয়ে।
হ্যাঁ 14 দিনের পুরোনো অ্যাকাউন্ট, একটা অ্যাকাউন্ট আমি দিতে পারি, সেটা হচ্ছে আমার অ্যাকাউন্ট।
তো পুরোনো
তোর পুরোনো অ্যাকাউন্টটা, আমার একটা অ্যাকাউন্ট আছে, লুকের একটা অ্যাকাউন্ট আছে।
না তো সবাই একটা করে নিন না, 60টা করে অ্যাট লিস্ট পেয়ে যাবে।
হ্যাঁ 3টে হলো, মানে আমার 3টে যোগ হবে, আমার 2টো যোগ হবে, তোদের 2টো যোগ হবে।
শুধু সেটা না তন্ময়দা, শুধু সেটা না, ওই অ্যাকাউন্টগুলো দেবে তোমাকে ডেইলি কমিশন করতে হয় 5 দিন ধরে। করবে নাকি অত গার্ডনি?
এই
ওখানে দেখো ভালো করে জিনিসটা পড়ে দেখো, তোমাকে রেগুলার খেলতে হবে।
পাল খেলবে, পাল
বাদ দাও ওটাকে, ভুলে যাও।
ওটা না খেললেও চল।
না না খেলতে হবে, লেখা আছে দোকানে।
আর খেলতে হবে এইটা এখানে লেখা আছে।
খেলতে হবে কারণ এক্সট্রা পয়েন্টের জন্য। তুমি উপরে দেখো তোমার
এক্সট্রা পয়েন্ট না, তুই আমাকে একটা জিনিস বল, যখন তুই তোর 5টা ফ্রেন্ড জয়েন করলো, তুই কটা এনভেলপ পাচ্ছিস? তোর 10 20 30টা পাচ্ছিস। 30টা এনভেলপে তুই কি পাবি? দেখ 15টা দিয়ে এটা করতে পারবি, আর তারপরে কি 15টা দিয়ে 15টার পরে আরো 5টা লাগবে, তুই 60 প্রিমোজেমটা পাবি, ঠিক আছে?
হ্যাঁ তো ওই জন্য তো হয়ে যাচ্ছে তোমার
60 প্রিমোজেম, আর তোকে 5 এক্সট্রা কালেক্ট করতে হবে। সেটা হচ্ছে
5 এক্সট্রা তোমার এখনই রয়েছে, দেখো অলরেডি 5 এক্সট্রা রয়েছে তোমার কাছে।
ও হ্যাঁ, তাহলে দুটো হয়ে যায় তো, প্রিমিয়াম কালেক্ট হয়ে যাবে লুকিয়া।
কিন্তু তোমাকে 5টা ইয়ে লাগবে। সেটা তো দিই পাওয়া। তো ছেড়ে দাও, বাদ দাও। কালকে সকালে একবার 24 আওয়ার হয়ে গেলে দেখো, যদি তোমার এই যে 10টা করে দিচ্ছে ওটা দিয়ে রিফ্রেশ হয় তো ভালো, না হলে ছেড়ে দাও।
আর 160 কোথায় বলি 480 দিচ্ছে নাকি কোথায়?
উপরে দেখো, একদম উপরে লেখা দেখাচ্ছে, একদম লেখা রয়েছে কমপ্লিট অ্যাডভেঞ্চার মিশনস টুগেদার টু আর্ন আপ টু 480 প্রিমিয়াম। ওটা আমি ক্যালকুলেশনে তো মেলাতে পারছি কি করে ওটা 480 হয়। দরকার নেই, একটা দুটো বুঝের জন্য অত খাটনি করতে পারছি না।
এটা এত কিছু নেই,
পুরোনো অ্যাকাউন্টে আইডি পাসওয়ার্ড ভুলে গেছি।
হ্যাঁ এটা রিকভার করা যাবে, কিন্তু ব্যাপার হচ্ছে মানে কোনো ইয়ে নেই, দরকার নেই।
তুমি দেখো না, তুমি যদি এমনি নরমাল গেমে কোনো ইভেন্ট ছাড়া তুমি যদি 9 দিন খেলো, তোমার 3টে উইশ উঠে আসছে।
হ্যাঁ
আর দরকার নেই, 20টা প্রিমোজে পেয়ে গেছো, স্টে হ্যাপি, ওইটুকুই থাক।
20টা না, টোটাল আমি ওই মেলে দেখার একটা সার্ভে করলে 50টা দিচ্ছে।
হ্যাঁ একটা কোডও এসে, কোডটা মেরে দাও।
এই কোডটা কোথায় দাও? কোডটা পাইনি।
কোডটা আমার দেখো এই নোটিসে আছে কোডটা।
এতে এত কিছু দিয়ে বুঝতে পারি তো। নোটিস কোনটা নাম পাল্টে দিয়েছো তো?
এই তো প্রথমে, একদম প্রথমেরটা, রুলস রেগুলেশনস এর নিচেরটা।
ও আচ্ছা, ওইটা আমার মিনিমাইজ করা। হ্যাঁ স্যার, আর নাম্বারটা দাও,
নাম নোটিস করে দাও পুরো।
কোথায় ওই রেকর্ডটা 60 দিচ্ছে। এটা মানে ফন্টেন কি কোনো মানে ফ্রান্সের ইয়ে নিয়ে তৈরি নাকি?
ইয়েস।
এই চকোলাতো ফ্রান্সের ফ্রেঞ্চে আবার।
Maloose, we're back.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most important partners. You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you back to Poisson so quickly?
চাইল্ডকে নিচ্ছিস তো?
About that, it's because my partner here reminded me of something really important.
দেখো চাইল্ডের জন্য এতদিন জমি জমি
My
রাষ্ট্রীয়
father's
জ্ঞানের
case had something to do with water from the primordial sea. You still remember, right, Maloose?
Yes, the case was quite similar to...
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could...
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion?
Yes, he did.
আরকন কোয়েস্টটা করছি কি? আরকন কোয়েস্টটা কিন্তু হেভি ইন্টারেস্টিং।
It's almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea.
হ্যালো।
সব চুপ আসলে আমাদের কি হবে এটা?
আচ্ছা, এটাই পুরো কন্টেন্টটাই?